My parents have been Christian for as long as I can remember. When I was 5 years old, I tried to tell them that their beliefs didn't make any sense to me. I wish I could remember exactly how the Bible was first introduced to me, because the way that I remember it from an early age was just as a book of, not facts. I always thought of it as just a book of stories or like a really old historical account that's so old we can't actually take most of it seriously. And so when my parents would try to convince me of things like, well, God is all powerful and God loves you very much and wants what's best for you, I would say, oh, okay, well, those things sound great. That makes a lot of sense to me. If there's a God up there, I sure hope he's like that. But then they told me, and you have to love God too. You have to give your entire life to him. Otherwise, he will send you to hell for eternal suffering, even after you're dead. And I was like, oh, no one I've loved has ever said that to me. And they said, you have to go to church every week because this is what we believe and we want you to believe it too so that you can be a good person. And I said, but I don't think this makes any sense. I don't want to go to church. And so they hit me. They would hit me anytime I disobeyed or acted out, which was, normal child stuff that children should not be hit for. I'm sorry, there is no evidence for God, not a single piece. There's a book. There's a book of stories compiled from other sources, copied from other sources, and the names changed. That's what the Bible is. Like, as a kid, you can tell how fucking stupid it is. You can tell that it's not true. But my parents believe it. They believe it to this day. And they believed it so strongly back then that they hit their children, forced us to go to their churches, forced us to sit there, sit still, face forward, listen, pretend to enjoy it. And, we did not get a choice. My dad insists that he gave us a choice. He did not. He hit us until we had to do what he said. When I was 8 years old, they sent me to an RA camp, a Royal Ambassadors camp. It was a week-long thing. I was 8. And they scared me to death. They scared me all week talking about hell and how if I ever want to get saved and not spend the rest of my eternity dying and burning, that I would have to come forward now and accept Jesus. And they said that every day. And on the last day, they were like, this is it. This is your actual last chance. After this, there is no going back. And I was like, oh my God, if I'm ever going to do it, this seems like the time. I don't want to go to hell. And so I told them that I accepted Jesus. And I said whatever they wanted me to say, because at this point, they had triggered my survival instinct. I had to do whatever they said or I would die and go to hell. How is that love? What God would do this? What parents can do this and say that it's love? How? This is the problem with believing something for which there is no evidence. God's not real. I'm sorry. I believed he was for 20 years. I lived for this figment of your imagination, but he's not there. That was a waste of my time and I was a bad person for no fucking reason. I wish you could understand, and I've tried to tell you since I was 5, but you hit me. You make me shut up. You tell me it can't possibly be right, but I know it is. You're wrong. What is wrong with you? You abused your children for a lie. Why do you need this lie so badly? Why can't you see what's real? You abused your real family for this fake lie, and you're still clinging to the lie instead of your real family. You still think you're going to heaven for abusing me. You think you're going to heaven for lying about it, for covering it up. Does your God want you to do that? Does your loving God want you to do that? And of course, all the other Christians will say, oh, I'm so sorry you had to deal with that. They misinterpreted. No, they didn't. They were following the book. They were following the abuser's handbook that you call the Bible. God is an abuser and they worshipped him. They emulated him. He was their role model and they copied him perfectly. Setting us up for failure when they have all the power and should know better, never correcting or teaching us, just punishing us, telling us to do things that are wrong. They could never give us the reasons to do what they wanted us to do because what they wanted us to do wasn't right. But they felt that they were entitled to have us do whatever they wanted, right or wrong. So they would hit us. They would use violence and force and death threats to make us do whatever they wanted to make us believe what they believed. And they pretend. They have the fucking audacity to lie now and say, I never forced my religion on you. I never saw any bruises. You only see what you want to see, Dad. Look with your eyes instead of your fucking lies. Because your view of the world is now warped by these beliefs that are founded on nothing. Whenever you look at the world, you're not seeing what's actually there. You're seeing what you expect to see based on your beliefs. That's not right. Your beliefs are supposed to be formed based on what you see. Stop doing it backwards. Stop trying to dictate what reality should be based on what you feel, what you want to be true, and try to just look what's actually there. There's no reason to believe God other than that you just want someone to be in control. You just want to know that when you die, you're going to go somewhere good. Sorry, we don't know that. Stop pretending it's true. It's a nice thought. It's an assumption. Don't treat it like a fact. Don't treat God like a fact, especially not Christian God. He's a cobbled together Frankenstein of other gods, somehow made even shittier. Gods were humans' attempts to explain the world around them. We have so many more tools now, so much more information. I don't know, when I look at the world, I don't see any evidence of God. I see way more evidence of humans being shitty to each other and attributing it to a god or gods. God was never here. God never did anything here that couldn't have just happened or wasn't just done by people in his name, you know? There's zero actual proof. I believed in him for a long time and I prayed to him for a long time, and eventually I just had to realize this is going nowhere. I'm praying to empty rooms. I'm wasting my time. I have to do shit for me. No one else will. And so, as humanity continues forward, we have to raise our standards. We cannot treat assumptions like fact. This religion is a religion of abuse. I think most theistic religions are. Anyone who says this is what God is definitely like and we have to be like him and please him is lying to you. Nobody knows what God is definitely like. However, my parents are so convinced, with no evidence, that they abused their children. They dismissed our lives entirely. They still think I'm worthless. They still think I caused my own trauma, which is incredibly insulting, and I almost killed myself this year as a result of all of this. But I'm still here to tell everybody that Christianity is a religion of abuse, and we need to do better. Please don't let them create more people like me. Please don't let them do to other children what they did to me. We can't tolerate lies anymore, and I'm sorry, saying that God is definitely there is a lie. We don't know that, and that's okay. Acknowledging what we don't know will help us live better. Stop making these assumptions, these wild assumptions, like they're absolute fact and they must be true. That's insane. Why are you choosing fanaticism? Why do you want that? Are you just lazy? You don't want to think to yourself? You're scared? You're scared of the idea that no one's in control and we actually have to work together? I understand. That is scary. But that's way less scary to me than, oh, well, there's this crazy abuser guy in the sky who will just kill you if you do something wrong. Oh, well, how do we know what's wrong? You don't. He'll kill you if you do it. Oh. Well, I guess I'll just live in constant fear and try not to take any risks. That's no way to grow. That is not how we're going to grow. Stop holding us back. Your God is not love. Your God is a lie. You know what I love? I love the truth. I respect the truth. I don't want to cover it up with bullshit. I don't want to cover it up under a confusing, hurtful lie. If God is up there of any kind, he needs to tell us. He has not told us at any point in human history. People have wrote books, desperately hoping that he's there, pretending that they hear him. It's very easy to imagine the voice of God. It's very easy to imagine voices. It's easy to imagine comforting presences, assuming you have an active imagination. And the weird thing is, like, Christians do have an active imagination, but they pretend not to. They pretend that it's not imaginary. They pretend that what they're imagining is fact. So, if you do have an active imagination, make sure you can tell the difference between fact and fiction. That is the biggest thing going forward. We need higher standards in terms of what is fact, what is fiction, what are assumptions, what are guesses. It's okay to have guesses. We just need to make sure we treat them like guesses and not absolute fact. Please, we're killing ourselves here. We're killing each other. Stop killing me. Thank you. Have a good day.